In der Tat, und schöne Musik haben wir eben auch schon gehört. Zum einen natürlich von Mark Geary, heute zu Gast bei uns, und an seiner Seite Gráinne. Das war eben der Song Ghost von seinem zweiten Album aus dem Jahre 2005, der Titelsong. Aber vor allen Dingen werden wir jetzt auch viel über ein Konzert quatschen, was diese Woche Samstag bei uns in Düsseldorf passieren wird. Eine sehr schöne Veranstaltung, nämlich das Acoustic Summer Festival. Werde ich auch gleich die Homepage auch noch mal zeigen. Aber jetzt wollen wir natürlich mit den beiden etwas mal erzählen und vor allen Dingen mal über das Halland Pop Festival sprechen, was in der vergangenen Woche stattgefunden hat, wo die beiden auch gespielt haben. Jetzt werde ich umswitchen ins Englische. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Gráinne, for being here today. We got to talk about the Halland Pop Festival. That was like going on last week. Yeah. Was that the first time for you guys playing there?
We were asked to do it. A friend of ours, Shell, got in touch, and so I had heard about it. It's a well-known festival for Irish musicians. And a great festival.
Microphone, yeah.
So, excuse me. But this was the first time I'd played it, and incredible. Just an amazing. The people, and just the music and the atmosphere of the place was incredible. You know?
This thing is like sold out in like minutes when it's announced. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, I met Stefan, and it is amazing that you have a festival. That the reputation of the festival is so good that people just buy the ticket before they hear who's playing. I think that's pretty significant, you know. And I was great. They were so good to us, you know.
Yeah, the two of you up together on stage. How did you guys meet? By the way, I mean, of course, both of you are from Dublin.
Yeah. Do you want to answer that? Hi, Gráinne.
Hi, Mark. Yeah, well, Mark was looking for a band, putting a band together for the album Songs About Love, Songs About Leaving.
Yeah.
And he got in touch with a piano player friend of mine, and she was like, who is this guy, Mark Geary? I was like, Mark is great. I was like, if he wants a singer, tell him to contact me. And he did, and we kind of had a little, I suppose, an audition session that went on for about 4 or 5 hours.
Okay.
Just we jammed and sang, and it was great. And it just kind of rolled from there. We just kept singing and playing, and I kept turning up to gigs, and he couldn't turn me away.
I mean, you started your career Memoriam 20 years ago, and I think back in 1992, you left actually your hometown Dublin and went to New York City, and that was on a one-way ticket, I believe.
Yeah.
How was that experience for you back then?
It was kind of terrifying, actually. I mean, they say that, you know, mother is the, you know, necessity is the mother of invention, you know. So I was kind of lost in Dublin, and I needed somewhere. I needed someone to help me, and my brother had put my name down in this green card lottery.
Okay.
And he called me up one day and said my name had come up, and I needed to get my stuff together and pack and go.
Wow.
And it was great because I was desperate enough and kind of not doing a whole lot. So I just kind of packed a bag. I sold guitars to get the flight, and I landed in New York. And the night after, I was working in this kind of restaurant, and people were asking me questions as if I'd lived in New York all my, you know, where's this place, man? And
you had no idea.
It's just the noise of the place, the noise. I remember going to sleep at night, and the fire engines would pass by, and the whole apartment would shake.
Yeah. It's like
and I would wake
24
up,
hours a day.
Absolutely,
isn't it?
the noise. And I would run to the phone thinking there's an earthquake, and realize that nobody else was paying any attention. It was just, this was normal. East Village in the early 90s was a pretty kind of crazy kind of town, you know.
So that was actually the part where you were living in the East Village. Tell us a little bit about, you had some appearances. That was like a well-known music venue actually in the East Village.
Well, my brother had this place called the Shinné Cafe.
Yeah.
Shinné means that's it in Gaelic. So the Shinné Cafe was this little coffee shop, and so Jeff Buckley would play there every Monday. We would go see him, and he was a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And Sinead O'Connor lived with us for a little while. It was like an unofficial Irish embassy, you know. It was just a bunch of Irish guys would just kind of show up from the plane, or then U2 showed up, and it was great because it was so laid back, and people left you alone, and you just came in, and maybe you would play or maybe you wouldn't. So it was very loose,
very, very laid back.
And so that was the kind of was the kind of nature of that venue. And then I would go off and do kind of open mics, and because I was writing songs, and New York was just inspiring me. I was like a sponge. I would just go to movies, I would see bands, I would just do everything. I was a culture vulture, as they say, and it was amazing, just an amazing time. And then I started playing. This one particular woman had a venue, and she liked me because I was just like a solo guy. So I didn't touch anyone's stuff, and bands liked me because I would just kind of creep in and just play. So I started to play with like Joe Strummer and Coldplay, and I would open the show.
Elvis Costello, right?
I played with Elvis Costello, and we were downstairs in a little basement, and I shook his hand and then went up to this insane sold-out room.
Incredible.
But an amazing place where, maybe in Dublin I wouldn't have got that opportunity. Yeah. In New York, I just was crazy enough to go, yeah, I can do that. Yeah. Of course I can do that.
Such a melting pot. It's insane. See,
yeah.
Let's talk a bit about your songwriting process. Has that really changed over the years, or does it generally change for you from song to song?
It is kind of song to song. There is this idea that there's no reason for me to go to the guitar, to sit with a guitar, until I actually have something to say. I've always written in this way that I'm trying to express something that maybe I can't say. That might be cowardice or something, but I grab a line, or something happens that I have a phrase that I really like, and then I know there's something to it. I know there's a way in which I can maybe make something in a song, and then I just work on it, and I don't stop till I try to get it. Sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're not. Over the years, I'm in the fifth kind of studio record now.
Yeah, it's coming up actually. It's in the works.
On certain days I think I'm really close. I think I'm like 80%. Yeah. Other days, if you ask me, it might be 65. It depends how the musician is feeling. But it is close. On this one, just with Gráinne and all my band at the moment, they're all great singers. So I kind of wanted a Fleet Foxes, Bon Iver, loads of harmonies. I'm really, really into that. I think there's such a power in that. In the Haldern last week, the Villagers were playing, friends of ours from Ireland.
So many bands there, actually.
Oh, it's just, but the power of these voices, it's just voices. It's not electric guitars, it's not drums anymore. And I'm really interested in and even last night we were in this little venue, and we were singing, and I was saying Alle Mitsinger bitte, and trying to get them to sing with me, and it's amazing that just the power of song. When people feel comfortable enough, turn down the lights so they don't feel exposed, and they'll sing with you. And I've never met them, and it was kind of cool,
I'm pretty sure that's going to happen on Saturday as well, when you guys are going to be playing at the Acoustic Summer Festival. Thank you so much for
my pleasure.
This. Of course, we're going to be talking to Gráinne, and we're hearing another 2 songs by you guys actually live in the studio. Wir sind sehr, sehr froh, dass beide hier sind. Mark Geary und Gráinne, und gleich noch viel, viel mehr Live-Musik hier bei uns im Studio. Bleibt definitiv bei uns. Jetzt kommt nämlich der Sport.